Welcome to Paranormal or Reality. On today's video, we explore some ghost stories from around the country that will keep you up at night. Now make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. Let's begin. I just want to start by apologizing for how long this is. I need to get some of these stories off of my chest, especially after what happened 2 weeks ago. So, here we go. I've always believed my parents' house was haunted. Let me give some backstory. The house I grew up in, I knew was haunted. I was born and raised in that house, and from ages 4 to 6, I saw some things I still don't believe. Unfortunately, my parents heard them too. That's not what this story is about, though. We moved into a new house the year I turned 6. My parents hoped that nothing would haunt it, but I always had this weird feeling. This one room, we called it the orange room, due to the bright orange carpet it had when we moved in, was sort of an in-between room. It sat directly in the middle of the house and acted as a sort of secondary living room. This room connected the main living room, the kitchen, and the bedrooms together, so you had to walk through it to go anywhere in the house. I hated it. Something about that room felt off. The first few years we lived there, nothing really happened. My consistent and repetitive nightmares from my old house, also another story for later, had stopped. I thought that maybe nothing would be wrong with this place, until one night. This new house sat on old train tracks. The tracks were pulled up and turned into a road, but the old wood still was used in some of the construction of the new housing. I didn't know this. I was about 9 at the time when I started to hear it. The train whistle. I was sitting in the orange living room playing with Legos. I looked outside of the large bay windows and saw nothing. No one. We no longer have any trains running anywhere within a 50-mile radius of the house. I would ask my mom about it, and she'd say I probably just heard a truck horn. The thing is, I was obsessed with trains at the time, and I knew the difference between a train's whistle and a truck's horn. This was definitely a train. I tried to ignore it, chalking it up to my imagination, until one day when my neighbor mentioned that she had wood from the old train tracks in her house. I got chills and knew that what I was hearing was really a train whistle. I knew I wasn't crazy. Things seemingly got worse after that. My mom tried to hide it, but I knew she was scared too. One night, something she couldn't explain happened, and I didn't know if I could believe her. I was 12 at the time, and knew about the small, weird things my mom heard or saw, like the shadow of a cat sprinting behind a chair, or some pictures being knocked over on a table, or a Christmas bell ringing when she was home alone. She kept chalking it up to minor things. The window was open, the air was on, it was the breeze, etc. One night, though, she couldn't explain it. The clock in the main living room was heavy and hung on the wall above our fireplace. Beneath the clock was the mantel, where my mom kept all of the picture frames with pictures of myself, my sister, and my cousins. It was fall, so there were added Halloween decorations as well. I don't remember exactly how late it was, but we were all fast asleep. My mom heard a loud crashing sound come from the living room, and she freaked out. She woke my dad up and urged him to go look, but he was exhausted. She dragged him out of bed, and they both made their way to the living room. What they saw, neither of them could explain. The clock had fallen off of the fireplace. It should have fallen straight down, right onto the mantel, correct? Nope. It didn't even touch the mantel. The mantel was in pristine condition. Nothing had been moved. The clock, however, was about 10 feet from the fireplace, in the middle of the living room, face down. My dad and her tried to recreate it the next morning, but the fireplace was brick. Nothing that they did, not even a breeze or a draft or the AC, could have caused it to go that far. A few more years went by before the next incident. It was winter, and I was about 16. I would play games late into the night on weekends, and it was about 2:30 a.m. when I was finally turning everything off to go to bed. Every time I would shut stuff off, I would look out the large bay window by the orange room just to make sure that the outside lights had been turned off. This night, when I looked outside, I noticed that the lights had been turned off, but that something was staring back at me. I freak out and sprint to my parents' room, waking them both up. I told them I saw what looked like a man with an extremely long face staring at me through the window. My dad grabbed a metal bar and went out into the living room. Nothing. No person, no footprints, no tracks in the snow. I know what I saw. It was definitely a face. That's when the nightmares started to return. The exact same ones from when I was a kid. Other weird occurrences happened, like a tan figure standing in the background of one of my Snapchat pics, the background of which was the orange room, or a distorted selfie I took where my eyes were blacked out, also standing in that room. I moved out soon after and escaped the nightmares and the weird experiences once more. I would visit from time to time, but nothing else seemed to happen. That is until 2 weeks ago. We were decorating for Christmas, and I was happily moving ornaments from one tree to another when I heard it. The strange, familiar sound of my mother's Charlie Brown snow globe playing music. I whipped my head around, stopping dead in my tracks, and watched as the snow globe suddenly stopped playing. I couldn't breathe. My mom entered the orange room and saw me, standing there pale as a ghost, she said. Then, she asked if I had turned the dial on the snow globe. I told her no, and straightened my posture. I told her I was passing through, and showed her the ornaments I was holding, and explained that I couldn't have turned the dial. It's on the bottom of the snow globe, and would require the use of both of my hands to turn it, as it's old and hard to spin. I asked when she put that snow globe on the shelf, wondering if it was leftover movement in the mechanism from when she put it out. She told me she put it there 5 hours prior, when I had just woken up. It couldn't have been residual movement. I don't want to go back in that room. I feel so weird when I do. Christmas is coming up, and I know I'll have to, but I really don't want to. It sucks, but I'm dreading what will happen the next time I go back. I'm from a musical family. My grandparents played music. Many uncles and aunts do. But neither my parents did. My brothers neither. So when I picked up a guitar, the family was very happy and felt sorry for me. I was the only one in our household who played music. Anyway, this is just a small detail I wanted to start off with. It was 8 years ago today my ex-girlfriend dumped me, and this really messed with my head. I guess it caught me off guard and I didn't know what to do to myself. She dominated and controlled my mind. I caught myself aimlessly driving around, playing the same particular sets of songs and thinking about doing dumb stuff. At any given moment I wanted to do it. Something happened which made me stop doing it. Like someone shouting in my ear to not do it. That's what it felt like. So I didn't do any dumb things. But I did pretend to everyone I was fine, while I obviously wasn't. I locked myself in my room a lot and just numb out a little. I would get into trances and play my acoustic guitar in a really weird way. So for some reason I sat down and held my guitar right in front of me straight up without being able to see anything. Then suddenly I would regain my conscience and I would suddenly be playing the guitar in this really weird way. I didn't know what song I was trying to play, but it sounded familiar. At night, I would wake up to what I thought was my guitar making sounds, like these really haunting, weeping sounds. But I thought it was my imagination, so this went on for a couple of months, playing the same song on repeat in my car, wanting to do dumb stuff, but every time I got in my car to actually do it, something happened which made me stop. This went on until I fell in love again and got into a new relationship. Even more time later, I had the chance of meeting a medium, so someone who can speak to ghosts. She started off telling me there was a woman my age with the same hair color next to me. I didn't know any women that had died back then. I was not familiar with her appearance either. Yet this ghost woman told the medium everything I had been doing, because somehow the medium knew. Music runs in the family, doesn't it? The medium asked me. She continued, "You're not alone." So I responded, "In my household I am." The medium shook her head. "You're not. Your sister plays guitar too." I told her I have no sister. Well, apparently I do according to the medium. The young woman next to me was my sister, guiding me. "Preventing you to do stupid things," she said. She tried to warn you and make you see through a song you know, the medium said. So I asked her, "What song?" "The song you've had on repeat for weeks in your car. The song you tried to play on the guitar countless times." So I thought. The song I was listening to was "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," Love version, by the Beatles. And the lyrics still give me goosebumps reading it. I look at you all, see the love there that's sleeping. While my guitar gently weeps, I look at the floor and I see it needs sweeping. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why. Nobody told you how to unfold your love. I don't know how someone controlled you. They bought and sold you. I look at the world and I notice it's turning while my guitar gently weeps. With every mistake, we must surely be learning. Still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know how you were diverted. You were perverted too. I don't know how you were inverted. No one alerted you. I look from the wings at the play you are staging, while my guitar gently weeps, as I'm sitting here, doing nothing but aging. Still my guitar gently weeps. So when I got home, I asked my mom, "Did I have a sister?" I was 21 at the time, and she never told me. Her eyes teared up. "Who told you?" Thanks for tuning in. Watch another video if you dare.